flap, pustule, jowls, nugget, gurgle, smear, bulbous, pork.
If you hear certain words on the job site,
baloney,
work can be uncomfortable.
tender.
So at least get work gear that's comfortable. Timberland Pro work shirts, pants, and boots. Head to toe, Timberland Pro. Not uncomfortable.
Moist.
We are trying to get you up on hump day. Golic and Wingo, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Cliff is coming out firing. Mm-hmm. He's very antsy because he's got to get to that Villanova victory parade.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The 5-block party.
5-block party. They're expecting 70,000 people. Mike Golic Jr., Trey Wingo here. That was an aggressive start at 6 a.m.
Really was.
Music-wise, right?
Kind of wanted to get it going on a Wednesday.
Cliff, did you have like 5 Red Bulls or 8 Starbucks this morning? What was that?
Oh, we just need to get the energy up.
All right.
Let's go.
Cliff. All right.
There you go.
Cliff is a tone setter.
Oh, baby. Sheer excitement for the par 3 contest today.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Uh-huh.
We're really all excited because it's Masters Week, and we get the par 3 today, and then we get the tournament starting. We'll get it. We got the pairings out there.
What gets you more aggressively screaming and crazy than golf?
Except don't say dilly-dilly on the course.
Well,
you heard that, right?
You know what? Thank God.
What?
Right? Like we gotta kind of move on, right? We need something new. That ad campaign has long since jumped the shark.
Yeah,
they gotta let that one go.
There's some controversy whether that truly is going to get you tossed or not.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to say if we talked about what phrases should get you tossed.
From a golf tournament?
From a golf tournament. If you say this phrase, you know what, you're gone.
Well, you hate all the guys that talk at the tee box.
I can't stand it. And my God, they're ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous.
What's the one that everybody screams out? It's milkshakes?
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed
what is that?
potatoes.
What is that?
I mean, you should be thrown out for stupidity, in all honesty.
Oh, yeah, Baba Booey is a good one,
Baba
too.
Booey, that's been forever. Yeah.
You know what? I just think it's one of those moments, if you're going to do it in that moment, you better be funny. Like, it better be something good. Because if you're going to do it,
stupid.
I need to be. No, listen,
it's all stupid.
I don't like this idea that golf's immune from the rest of the entertainment of the world of sports. Like, if you're going to shout at a golf event, at least be funny.
So at any point, shouting something out, when is that funny, ever?
No, not at any point. Not the backswing. Yeah. I mean, we're not interrupting the backswing. We're not interrupting the backswing.
In another sporting event, when is yelling out mashed potatoes funny?
I'm just saying we make noise at other sporting events all the time. All this is highlighted because golf takes itself too seriously.
I'm going to lean that way, too. Lighten up, golf
Golf is so sterile that you make these moments funny by being tight and quiet.
You're missing exactly what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying you said at any sporting event, if you scream something out, it should be funny. When does that ever happen?
Well, Trey, I'll steal a page from your book. Nothing happens in a vacuum.
Hey,
and because golf is so quiet and so stingy, it becomes more funny in a way that, you're right, maybe it wouldn't be as funny at other places. Maybe mashed potatoes not universally funny.
Look, again,
but it can be funny at a golf course.
One of my favorite things ever was the 2012 Ryder Cup, where Bubba and I can't remember what was the first days, were just sitting there. See, again, not funny.
He's laughing.
He has to. He's your dad.
Everyone thinks it's funny.
I really don't.
Put it on the poll. Is that funny?
I don't laugh at a lot of things.
I thought it was funny.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Were you on the air then, or were you just in my head?
On the air there.
Okay, see,
and
again,
it was funny.
We need qualifications.
You're no funny or when I'm on the air.
We need qualifications.
Is there any good line? See, the get in the hole I'm done with, too.
Yeah.
Especially on a par 5.
Especially on a tee shot. You know what I mean?
Tee shot and a par 5, get in the hole.
You'll be funny.
Happy Gilmore hit a hole-in-one on a par 4.
That's true, he did.
Well, what would be funny if someone screamed something like, I'm saying something stupid now because they have nothing else to say. Something like that would be interesting. But mashed potatoes, get out of here.
So if it made you chuckle, you would be cool with it?
Probably.
All right. I think I might as well. So have some
creativity.
That's
what you were lacking.
What
there?
I was lacking
what you
right
were just
there.
lacking there.
Have some of what I don't have.
Have a thought. Something that you were lacking there.
There you go.
So we've come full circle, and you guys agree with me. If you're going to yell something, make it funny.
Make it funny.
Yeah,
absolutely right.
But it's never. I said I didn't say
4
it's
minutes
not
and
bad
15 seconds in, baby.
I never said it hasn't been fun. I said it's never been funny. Make it funny is fine. So it's really never funny.
Was Dilly Dilly good?
Would you accept that? Dilly Dilly's over. We got to turn the page.
We're moving on from
one.
Dilly Dilly.
It got overused.
I got to be clear. My guys at AB, I love them.
Oh, I know you do. I know you do.
So
you'd accept Dilly Dilly at the Masters?
I'm hanging on like a La Jolla man clings to life.
There you go.
On to
There's
Dilly
that
Dilly.
line.
And and let me just say,
wow.
Let me just say,
did you just call them AB? By the way,
yeah.
I don't know if that or I don't know if that or Elfits is a more egregious like jerk or no jerk moment. Which one? Which one are we thinking here?
Let me ask you.
Remember
a question.
Larry Fitzgerald?
Who in the hell decided you're the arbiter of that?
Well, he's taking charge. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a joke move.
Captain McGrumpy Pants in there? The guy who perpetually looks like he's going in for root canal?
No, just the guy waiting for you to do the reads and move on.
You know what we have done successfully in 5 minutes got under Trey's skin.
No, we've successfully killed 5 minutes and 17
Sensitive
seconds
golf
of content.
guy.
Yeah, that's it.
By the way, let me just say this about this entire first segment.
Yep.
That escalated quickly.
All right, so let's get going.
It's time for Off the Top
Whether you like it or not,
it's just beginning.
with Golic and Wingo.
and we start off the top with what is important to say at a golf event. No, just kidding. In what could be a preview of the Eastern Conference playoffs, the Cavs beat the Raptors 112-106. It was Cleveland's second win over Toronto. I have no idea what that was.
I don't either.
What was that?
I don't either.
What just happened?
What
there?
happened?
Someone just yelled something. Now they're just getting giddy in there.
Are they drunk?
I have no idea.
Because if
turn off all their mics.
Can you share?
If they're drunk, they should have told us.
Yeah, that's exactly
and we
right.
would have shown up drunk, and the show would have been a lot better.
All right,
guys, you got to let us know.
Put your professionalism pants on just for a second now.
Captain
okay?
McGrumpy Pants
Yeah,
in there,
exactly.
taking off McGrumpy's
Don't do
britches
that.
and putting on his happy, serious pants.
Yeah.
Okay, we move on.
Yes.
Cleveland beat Toronto for the second time in 2 weeks. Speak things.
Man, Toronto, the little brother thing,
right.
It's just this is the year everybody wants to say Toronto. They're playing differently. They look different. This year's going to be different, yet they lost their last 3 games to the Cavaliers and the Celtics. So the teams, and they're locked into that first slot. So it's like when they finally get pressed by one of these teams, how are they going to react? And right now, I know it's not the playoffs, so I give them that. But boy, oh boy, they struggle against those teams.
You wonder if we're getting to that time of year, the waning moments of the regular season, a little puckering starts to go on right now because you recognize we're getting to that time of year where all of a sudden it ramps up. It's for keeps now, and you've got a backcourt and you've got the core of that team that's got reason to have some confidence issues when it comes to the playoffs. That's going to pop up for a few of these teams that have been riding high and sitting on top for the regular season.
I guess, but if you're the Raptors at this point, it's like, let's just get to the postseason, right?
You don't think it has any effect on them at all, though? I mean,
we'll find out.
Yeah,
we'll
but
find out.
There's always the mental side to sports of can we not get over this hump? And the thing about it is they haven't done it in the playoffs either. So they have nothing to look to that says, yeah, well, hey, guys, look here when we did. Oh, yeah, that's right. We beat them by 33 when they had a completely different team in January.
Correct.
So, I think that's a tough little thing stuck in your head because it's there. When I was in Philly, we had the Giants number. Washington had our number, and it would be in your head. It's like, okay, even if you're winning that game, you're like, what's going to go wrong? What's going to happen where it comes back to haunt you? And you got to believe that's a little bit in the head of Toronto.
It happened all the time when we were at Notre Dame. For years, we sat there losing close games over and over again. Syracuse's, UConn's, Tulsa's. And the minute one thing goes wrong at a pivotal crux in a game, you start in the back of your mind, as tough-minded as you can be, here we go again. And you just wonder how much of that starts to add up right before they're supposed to get to the most important part of the year.
Well, their lead over the Celtics for the number 1 seed in the East is 2 games. And I believe they each have more than 2 games left to play, right? So it's 55 and 22 is 77. So they still got
5 games.
5 games each.
They still got to figure out a way to lock on the home court advantage. So I get that. The point is, we'll see. I mean, it's easy. It's going to be talked about until they do it.
Sure.
Let's be clear about that.
Is.
But it's up to them to decide whether this is really in their head or we'll just figure this out as we go through the end of the regular season.
Off the top.
Meanwhile, the 4th meeting of the season between former teammates Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, nice try, brought out strong performances for each of the Warriors. 111-107 victory Tuesday. Piped 320 yards down the middle. Bring it. It doesn't matter.
You did
Keep
well.
going.
Yeah. Russell Westbrook, 44 points.
Mashed potatoes.
16 rebounds. That was the 4th 40-15 game of his career. There's only one that has more. Oscar Robertson. There's a real stunner. And Kevin Durant, 34 points, 10 rebounds in this one. The West has been amazing. You have obviously Houston, you have Golden State, and you have Portland kind of locked in. And then 4 through 9 are separated by a game and a half.
Crazy.
With a handful of games to go. So while you put, and the Clippers are 10th, they're 2.5 out, but still closer to the playoffs that can get in there. So really 4 through 10 to get your last few spots in the playoffs and not even know where the seed is going to be, whether they're going to be on the road or not.
Yeah, you don't hit that cliff until the 11 seed, where I think they're 7.5 games back from even the 10th seed. It becomes dicey for a lot of these teams now, and you can even lump Toronto into that conversation, but how long are these teams willing to hold serve, these short-term fixes, like Oklahoma City, who could be on the outside looking into the playoffs if they're not careful, of these guys they've brought in, Chris Pauls, Paul Georges? What does their future look like if this goes south in a hurry in the postseason?
It isn't. There is no future the way it's going this way. Let's just be honest about it. The whole thing has not been what they expected for the Thunder all year long. But to your points about the difference in the two conferences, the Clippers are in the 10 spot. They're 6 games over 500 in the West. The Hornets are in the 10th spot, and they're 11 games under 500 in the East.
What a difference,
so there is a disparity in the depth of both conferences right now in the NBA.
Off the top.
Good start for Shohei Ohtani, right? A little bit of everything. What was that? Was that a cat?
Ishinoho.
What was that? Seriously, what was that?
That was awful. Whatever.
Stanzik, you want to stop giggling for a minute?
That was Allie saying it's in the hole.
Okay. That was Allie?
Stanzik.
Yeah.
Sweet Moses.
Oh, that was pretty good.
I can't even understand what you're saying.
Stanzik is laughing back there like he's 5 years old today.
He's in the hole.
Thank you.
There
That
you
was
go.
better.
Much better.
Can I just say this?
Much better, yeah.
If this is what gets that grumpy face off Stanzik, I'm all for it.
Well, if he's going to smile,
because normally
for once,
he just came from a wake, going to root canal while being audited.
Yeah,
that's normally his facial expression.
Look.
So anything beats that face from Stanzik. So if this is what you need to get you to your happy place, little man, keep doing it. He can't stop. Look at him.
I know.
Get the camera on Stanzik right now. He cannot stop. He's red in the face.
Yeah.
He's crying. He can't do it. Now the camera. I got to be serious.
Look now.
I don't want to be on camera looking like an idiot.
My
so
bosses might be watching now.
And then, by the way, after we do this, he'll get there and say, "Keep it moving."
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Keep this moving. All right, here we go.
Let's keep it moving.
Shohei Ohtani keeps moving things forward with great firsts.
Boy,
it's in the hole.
3-run home run, and only because of a wild pitch brought in one of the guys. Could have been a grand slam.
Correct.
I love the fact that his teammates gave him the silent treatment in the beginning when he got back to the dugout before they all said go out there and take the curtain call. The last player to win a game and hit a first inning home run within the next 2 days, and you're going to get these comparisons a lot. Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
June 13th and 14th, 1921. Ohtani is scheduled to start on the mound for the Angels on Sunday. The last player with 200 or more plate appearances and 100 or more inning pitched in a season. Again, that same guy, Babe Ruth, Red Sox, 1919. So, boy, oh boy, he's doing more than giving you the tease right now.
No, it's starting to deliver in a way that this is the kind of exciting stuff that we all need. I've said baseball, for some reason, to me, has become infinitely more interesting this year, whether it's been the infusion of Stanton into that Aaron Judge lineup in New York, whether it's been Shohei Ohtani, all these different things that kind of hang in the balance in big marketplaces, too, which Major League Baseball has to be thrilled about.
That is exactly what Major League Baseball wants, and quite frankly, it's what Major League Baseball needs. The average, what was the number for the World Series? Was the average ticket holder at the World Series or the viewer? The average viewer was 56,
I believe.
Which is great. However, if you want the sport to grow, you need this kind of stuff happening.
And, oh, by the way, on the other side, a guy that had the John Blutarski 0.0 grade point average, Clayton Kershaw, is now 0-2.
Yeah.
0-2 after an unbelievable spring. He's lost his first 2 games.
I like his chances.
I think he'll be okay, but kind of a difference from how the spring went.
Got to just be looking at the rest of the team like, help me.
Yeah. How about it?
Help me, help you.
Did give up 2 home runs, though, last night.
Off the top.
And we finish up with the Masters Par 3 contest. Starts today at 3 o'clock on ESPN. Yeah, it ended a long time ago, and you guys are the only ones that didn't know it, just so you know. No Par 3 contest winner, of course, has ever gone on to win the Masters the same year. And that's something that, you talk about in the heads of people. People talk about that when they play the Par 3.
Would you want to win it?
No.
Would you? You wouldn't. And the first
Absolutely
thing you do
not.
is bring your kid and have your kid putt, and
Correct.
then you're eliminated.
Yeah.
You can't win it anymore. Since 2006, the best finish, if I'm looking at this correctly, is Luke Donald, tied for 4th. That's the best finish. Tons of guys have missed cuts, but I mean, I really don't think players want to win this thing.
They don't.
You know,
They don't.
so again, you have your kid putt or you do something to get yourself disqualified. Just go have fun. I certainly wouldn't try and win this thing.
Well, no, especially and not if your eye's on the prize. I wonder if you're a guy who's in the back of the heat who probably knows it's going to be an uphill battle to win the Masters if you're in it, if that's a place where you might try and go get some shine. Because you can make a nice name for yourself. You go out there and win the Par 3 if you're not going to be one of the marquee players.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of shine that goes with the winner of the par 3 contest.
I just mean
outside
more
the people at the actual event.
Right.
People like, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet our 2017 par 3 Masters. You're not introduced that way anywhere else.
Oh, no, I get it, but listen, it's more pub than you're going to get being the guy that doesn't make the cut or finishes dead last in this one, so it could be a shot there. I'd ask you guys this, because I had a friend ask me this the other day. How much is a win at the Masters worth to you? Like, would you have a win at the Masters or win 3 other majors?
Well, you'd obviously. I think any other golfer would rather win three majors as opposed to one. But the question was, what does a Masters do for you? For the rest of your life, you will be introduced as Masters champion so-and-so.
Well, I get that.
That's like Olympic gold medalist so-and-so.
Would that title mean more to you than, say, I won 3 of any other major?
Well, you would also be introduced as a 3-time major champion. So, look, I think any golfer would rather have 3 majors than 1.
Right. So if the choices are, you either only thing on your resume is you won the Masters, or the other thing on your resume would be you won the 3 other majors.
You would take
and not the Masters.
Right. The 3 others are just 3 other majors. Like you could win 1 twice and
3. Yeah, 3 other any mixed bag of the other ones.
I would take the 3.
Yeah, I would take the 3. Well. Yeah.
God, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not quite as avid a golf fan as you, but there is just something mystic about the Masters that would be great to have on the resume.
Well, let me put it this way: would you rather be Rory McIlroy or, let's say, Danny Willett?
I'd rather be Rory McIlroy for a host of other reasons,
right? But
none of which have to do with what he's done on the golf course.
But the point being, he's got 3 majors, and Danny Willett fell into a green jacket when Jordan Spieth decided to implode on the 12th hole a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Rory gets to hang out with that rat pack.
Would you rather be Mike Weir or I'm trying to figure out somebody else that has 3 majors? Because Mike Weir,
I think you take the 3 majors.
Yeah, you take the 3 majors.
I would take the 3 majors.
I think I'd take just being cool and being Rory, and then however many majors I had is kind of up for grabs.
Yeah, there you go.
Again, that wasn't the premise of your question.
It's your question too, and you changed the whole context of the question.
Peter Burns, one of the guys hosts with us, the SEC Network especially, says I'd take 1 Masters over 3 PGAs. Finally, someone that agrees with me on that.
But again, that was a specific thing. He said he'd take 1 Masters over 3 PGAs. I get it. The Wanamaker Trophy doesn't have the cachet that the Green Jacket does. But the question as it was presented, would you take 3 other majors, which could include the U.S. Open, which is always considered the toughest major, and the Open Championship, which is considered the most historic. So if you say 3 PGAs, I might be with you on that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. 3 PGAs I would, but the U.S. Open and the Open, I mean, man, I would love those titles as well.
I don't know. Masters champion just has a different ring to me. I think there's something unique about that at least I would take the Masters over the 3, but I think it at least makes you think about it, where if you said, would you rather have 1 U.S. Open or 3 other tournaments, the answer would be cut and dry. It'd be super easy.
Yeah.
This one at least makes you think.
Does it? I don't think there was much thinking going on in any of this segment from the screaming from the guys. Oh, what, Stanzi, you got something for me?
Yeah, you guys are forgetting the Masters. You get a cool green jacket, and you get to plan a meal.
Speaking of that,
Stanzik,
we have what Sergio served last night.
Yeah, we do.
Is as the champion's dinner. It was an international salad.
Yes, it was.
What makes something an international salad?
Well, it featured.
Does it come with a passport?
It featured. This is what did it. It featured ingredients from the 10 countries represented by Masters champions.
Very cool.
How about that?
That's very
cool.
So
that worked out okay. It had Spanish lobster rice.
Traditional Spanish lobster rice.
I think I would love that.
Yeah.
And then cakes. And Sergio admitted he is a big-time dessert guy. So that means I am a big-time Sergio Garcia fan.
Yeah, Sergio was great when we had him on last week. It was terrific. By the way, I just love the way things roll off in Spanish. Traditional Spanish lobster rice is arroz caldoso de bogavante.
Yeah, see, I can't do
tremendous.
That.
What about the tres leches cake?
Tres leches.
That to me is the one that really anytime you get tres leches.
Baby.
So there's 3 of something in that then, right? There's 3 of something.
There's tres leches. There's 3 milks.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Leche is milk.
Leche.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really?
Okay. I was going to say.
Did you not take Spanish class at all?
I took it for 1 year. You think I have any recall? Quite honestly, when it tres leches, I thought it was 3 layers, which I would love.
Yeah,
that's where my mind went.
Now that is fair. So you don't comprehend any Spanish. Our cultural awareness around this show is pretty lacking. Because I remember I heard the other week, Trey, you didn't know what a Canadian tuxedo was.
Never heard of that.
Oh, really?
Dad can't get down with what's going on south of the border, and Trey is clueless north of the border.
No,
there you go.
Vancouver's one of my favorite cities. When I hear that denim is a Canadian tuxedo, that's to me that's Texas, man. Because Texas is a lot of times just covered in denim.
Yeah.
Look at Will Cain's poster okay, for a show. Will Kane's from Texas.
It's a beautiful Canadian tuxedo.
He looks like he's an advertisement for jeans.
I guess the point is it's kind of universally known that what a Canadian tuxedo is.
Yeah.
And we did this in the room, right?
Yeah.
when that came up. A lot of you guys didn't know what a Canadian
It was
tuxedo
only you and Devin. Everyone else knew. Cliff's got the beginnings of one on.
And Devin lives in a bubble.
And it was Devin, and Devin can't even get the reads right on my sheet. So,
Yes, but, that doesn't help me. You're right. Honestly, you're right. That doesn't help me in any way, shape, or form. I thought I had something there with Devin, and then I realized who I was talking to. But you're right. Can we get the camera on Cliff? Cliff's got a Philly tuxedo on right now. A little bit. He's working on it. Nicely done. And that might have been, by the way, Golic and Wingo presented by Progressive's Home Insurance. Get your quote at progressive.com today. That might have been the least progressive segment in the short history of this show.
Yeah, do it.
Let's move on.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Give me the good stuff,
Look
baby.
at that.
How about a Fresca?
The NFL never sleeps. A trade with massive implications not only for the draft, but what is going on with arguably the premier franchise in the NFL. We'll get to that in Mashed Potatoes.
A Sport Clips championship haircut experience makes you feel like your hair has its own walk-up music. Maybe you play sports. Maybe you play sports online. Or maybe your sport is keeping up with your kids. Your hair deserves its own walk-up music, and at Sport Clips, we make it easy. A game-changing cut from a stylist trained for guys while you're surrounded by sports. Hair this good needs no introduction, but you'll want one anyway. So get in line online at sportclips.com/check-in and get your hair in the game.
Hey everyone, Mike Golic here. Support for the Golic Wingo podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Mikes. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
NFL trade with the Patriots sending receiver Brandin Cooks to the Rams for the 23rd overall pick in this month's draft, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter.
New England was not going to sign him to a long-term deal at the price he wanted.
This move overall by the Pats is very un-Patriot-like.
Real world. All right, Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. We are presented by Progressive Insurance, and all phone guests will join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. It's time for the Straight Talk now, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts. And the Straight Talk is, if you were with us in the first half hour, you should probably just know that the show peaked there.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
We got off to a rather ragged start and went off on whether or not people should be screaming things in the middle of a golf swing and what's funny and what isn't. And from there, it completely devolved. And I think peak de-evolution came when Allie tried to scream something.
Yeah.
And it sounded like someone stepped on Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
We weren't quite sure what came out of her mouth, and this was it. Joey Ohtani, right?
Yeah, we had no idea what that was.
Let's listen to that again. Joey Ohtani, right? What was that?
Yeah.
What was that? And that got Stanzik giggling like a girl who had just seen a Carly Rae Jepsen video for the first time. I mean, he just went going for a while.
Carly Rae Jepsen references this morning.
And that, of course, then devolved to this entire thing. Good start for Shohei Ohtani, right? A little bit of everything. What was
even
that?
Know what
was that a
was.
cat?
Ishinaho.
What was that? So
yeah,
we were all very, very confused.
This all really started on the fact that they're actually going to have some terms. If you yell them out, you're going to get booted out of the Masters.
From the Masters, which I'm okay with.
Yeah. I mean, so, and the thought is any yelling good? You better be original. Don't say the old stuff. Try some new stuff. So it all is devolved, I should say, into that.
Wouldn't it be great if somebody started quoting great passages from Lord Byron and say, right, or read one of the amendments to the Constitution, just read that out, something completely out of context.
At this point, I think you got to do that because we know all the old sayings and they're just that. They're old and quite honestly, you should get thrown out for not being original.
We should bring back the sports crier and have him go out to the Masters.
Oh,
you remember?
right.
Yeah, the royal decree.
I think we should delve into that pool.
It's a good idea.
I think we should get our staff working on that. Yep. That would be something that would be very interesting.
We should do that. That way we'll give some people some ideas
of
things to do at the Masters.
That's what we need to do. Plant some people.
No, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Let's not. We're not going there.
Yeah.
We are not going
Send
there.
me to the Masters.
Just don't let them trace it back to us.
Let's put it in this context. and put it out there on our Twitter feed, 1-800-Flowers.com Twitter feed, at Golic and Wingo. At a golfing event, instead of mashed potatoes or it's in the hole or any of the stuff that has been said a million times, dilly-dilly, whatever, what do you think that might be funny or interesting? And we'll see if we can get some response.
And won't get you kicked out.
Yes.
Which means keep it clean.
And that, of course, was the straightest of Straight Talk.
There you
brought
go.
to you by Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks. The other Straight Talk is what the Patriots have done, which is just continued to ramp up and make the draft very, very interesting. Brandin Cooks out of New England, going to the Rams, who are apparently trying to win 5 Super Bowls in 2018 with all the trades and moves they've made. And now the Patriots are in a very interesting position, guys. They have 2 number 1 picks, 2 second-round picks, and I believe 1 third-round pick. Yep. So they are loaded for bear to do whatever it is they want to do. So there's 2 sides to this.
Yeah, I want to take the Rams side.
You want to start with the Rams?
Yeah, I want to start with the Rams side.
The Rams are clearly all in, and I think they're following a model that they've seen successful at a couple of other places.
Quick byproduct there of Brandin Cooks going there for the Giants, Odell Beckham Jr., any trade to the Rams is not going to happen. I knew there was a possibility of him getting traded again. If there's things behind the scenes we don't know, did they want to try and get rid of him? I never thought he was going to get traded, and I certainly don't think he's going to get traded now, but that closes that door. Look what they've done. Brandin Cooks, three straight 1,000-yard seasons, and Ndamukong Suh, Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters. I know they lost their leading tackler, and Ogletree went to the Giants, and also Quinn, one of their rushers, is gone as well. Sammy Watkins, that experiment is over now. Now they have to deal with paying Brandin Cooks. He's going to be in the 5th year, Mike, I heard you talking about.
He's in his 5th-year option year.
5th-year option year. So what's going to happen there? But understand, to me, the biggest thing of why the Rams are doing all this, and more importantly, why they're able to,
ching,
is Jared Goff.
That's exactly
Jared Goff
right.
only is his 2nd year. They got, 2 more years with him before they have to worry about that $20 million cap hit that eventually they're going to have to deal with. So they have the money now in a couple of years to kind of play with before they have to give out that quarterback money to pay Ndamukong Suh that $14 million for the year. Brandin Cooks is going to get a good deal. He's not going to get Odell Beckham deal, but he's going to get a good deal. And you can spend the money now that you have a couple of years to play with before the quarterback has to be paid, a la what happened in Seattle with Russell Wilson. So I think that's one of the big reasons you're seeing them. Let's grab some people now. We can make hay in the next couple of years before that huge quarterback cap number.
Well, and I think before the rest of the division adjusts again, you've got a Seattle team that's in transition right now in a lot of ways. You've got a San Francisco team that's really on the front end of their window that's still building a lot of these pieces and going to wait and see, all right, what is Jimmy Garoppolo going to look like for a full season with us? And then a Cardinals team who's relying on Sam Bradford at this point and is really an old roster in a lot of ways. So you look around and you say, this might be our best shot to knife through this division. And you know that's where it starts. It starts with winning your division every year, and then everything else comes from that.
This is basically a 50-50 split now, the NFC West. You have 2 teams that are on the come right now. Right. It's San Francisco building around Jimmy Garoppolo and adding some pieces. They've already paid him, so they're trying to work around that salary. And then you have the Rams, who realize they're on the luxury of year 3 of what can be a 5-year window for Jared Goff, relatively cheap. As you said, exactly what Seattle has done. But what's really interesting about all of this is there are a few teams, and we'll get to the Patriots side of this later, because that I think is fascinating.
Yes,
on
it
a
is.
Whole bunch of different levels. But let's focus right now on the Rams, because you mentioned all the acquisitions. And, the Vikings now believe in the NFC that they got the final piece to what will be a Super Bowl puzzle for them. Right. Because they got to the NFC Championship game and had the lead in the NFC Championship game with Case Keenum. Now they bring in Kirk Cousins and pay him $84 million in guaranteed money. Then you have what the Saints have done, sort of upping their defense with a couple of trades, which was a really good defensive unit last year, and that defense is young and cheap. So of these 3 teams that have really sort of reconfigured themselves this offseason, which one do you feel best about, most likely to come out of the NFC? Because the odds that look, only one is getting to the Super Bowl, we know that, but the odds that all 3 are getting back to the playoffs is a long shot when you consider how many different times we see. I think we had, 8 different playoff teams a year ago than the previous year? So they're all not going back. So of these configured teams in the NFC, which one do you feel best about right now?
Wow. Is that a great question?
Well, thank you.
Because, the best defense.
As you think about this.
The best defense is Minnesota. Even I know they got with the corners that they got with the Rams and Ndamukong Suh.
They lost a little pass rush.
Maybe they'll rise to the in the area of Minnesota. But Minnesota, let's give them the benefit of the doubt of having that best defense right now. the best quarterback? Are people going to say, well, it's Drew Brees for sure, but can Kirk Cousins going in and now with Jared Goff and what he's done, running games, you got the two-headed monster in New Orleans, you got Gurley and Dalvin Cook coming back, and they did a pretty good job after Cook got hurt. That is a tough question.
I mean, which one are you buying? You can only pick one because the Vikings believe we figured out the quarterback that's going to get us there because everything else was working.
Well, here's why I'm going to go where I'm going to go, and it's the team we see, but it's because of division. I think I'd lean to the Rams because of the division. I mean, the Saints, you still have Carolina in there. You have Atlanta in there. Everybody expects Tampa Bay to come up. We'll see. We don't know about that. You have Aaron Rodgers coming back for the Packers. Detroit Lions, we keep wondering if they're going to make a run. That to me is still an iffy division, though. But as far as the Rams are concerned, I'm not worried about the Cardinals. I think San Francisco is building, but not there. And I think Seattle is in that retooling, rebuilding type mode. So I think the division gives the edge to me to the Rams.
The one thing that still concerns me and Mike going forward is Jared Goff. Took huge steps forwards last year, but we know Sean McVay did a brilliant job as a play caller, and that offense thrived on play-action pass. He wasn't asked to drop back and dissect defenses, and he might not still be this year. That just might not be how they get down until he's willing to shoulder that load.
But I think Sean McVay is doing that for him now.
And we heard all about that last year. How long was he in his ears going up to the line of scrimmage before every play? You just wonder what the ceiling is if you're going to continue to operate like that. In a league where we have differing opinions now on the value of a star quarterback, I'd still kind of lean with Breeze. You've got such a good core at that. Once they added that running game, to me that changed everything because he's still the quarterback that you trust more going away in that group.
That is true on the quarterback side of it.
But I do love the defensive moves more than anything else with the Saints. I mean, they get the cornerback back from Philadelphia, and the safety last year, Marcus Williams, he made the wrong tackle. I get it against the Vikings, but that defense is really what turned it for New Orleans. But I think I got to side with your dad here because of the division. Because Aaron Rodgers is coming back, hopefully healthy, and there's more weapons around the Bears right now. I think if you're looking at the path, which is always let's win our division and take it from there, I think it might be the Rams the way they're headed. But it's fascinating because we all assume, they're going to – no. Almost every year, 4 in, 4 out.
And last year was crazy.
Last year was nuts. So we'll see what happens going forward. But a lot of teams, especially in the NFC, believe they are all in now on their path to the Super Bowl, and only one of them's going to get there. So good luck with that. We'll deal with the Patriots and what this means with Brandin Cooks on the other side because there's another tweet from Adam Schefter that just came out, which is really interesting. We are presented by Progressive Insurance on Golic and Wingo, and all phone guests will join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Well, we asked for this yesterday, and it just might be coming. We've got a standoff between Alabama and Nick Saban and LeBron James and his platform. And we are all in.
Decking, railing, lighting, furniture, fencing, framing. At Trex, we make the most in outdoor living because you deserve to get more from your life outdoors. So why not start bringing your ideas to life now with the brand that's engineering what's next? To learn more about all of the outdoor solutions Trex has to offer, or to find a local retailer or a certified Trex Pro deck builder near you, visit Trex.com. That's Trex.com.
It's Golic and Wingo.
Junior wears a little, maybe a bigger size than Senior does.
Yeah, I'm a little thick boy over here. Listen, I got a little more meat, a little more backside to this one.
All right, we're done. Thank God that went no further. Sound Off, brought to you by ADT. Considering home security? Consider this. For 140 years, ADT has helped stop more crime than any other home security company. Visit ADT.com to learn more.
All right, as we continue on Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News, and thankfully they let us continue after the first segment today. What do we always love in sports? We love a showdown.
This is awesome. The gods have been good here.
They've granted us this gift, and we are embracing it like millennials are now embracing that 30-pound blanket. Did you see that story, by the way?
No.
People, juniors age, they're buying these 30-pound blankets to feel ensconced in their own little world and warm and covered from the dangers that are out there.
You don't think that sounds great? A nice heavy blanket on you, like a warm embrace to help you? Because it's shown that, like, physiologically, a hug actually reduces stress. It makes you feel better. This blanket's like one big hug.
Why don't you just tell me when you're having issues and I'll give you a hug?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, at this point in your state, I know of all the surgeries, your hugs don't have quite the oomph of a 30-pound blanket.
That's hurtful.
See, I'd say a 30-pound blanket to me sounds like something you would wear when you're going to get an MRI. You just wear those lead plates on you
or work out
everywhere.
with that vest on.
That's the one they put on you at the dentist's office.
Give me a light, fluffy blanket that just 30 pounds. I don't think so. But anyway, the whole point, we're all in, like, embracing this because Durant versus Westbrook, LeBron versus we're all about that, right? The standoffs. This might be the best one of all time. Nick Saban and Alabama against LeBron and his platform. If you weren't with us the other day, we had the story where there's a thing called The Shop now on the Alabama Crimson Tide website where they go in and have players. And Julio Jones?
They call it Shop Talk.
Shop Talk.
Former players, Nick Saban, kind of the barbershop type of setting of Shop Talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
And LeBron has The Shop.
The Shop, which they've trademarked and did all the copyright things, him and his group, a smart thing to do, without question, to protect the rights of your situation.
Okay.
And he thinks this is what they're doing at Alabama is a little too close to what they're doing.
Now, to be fair, I mean, I can remember we'd done barbershop segments at ESPN a bunch of times. We've seen that play out. I think many years ago when Fred Carter was an NBA analyst, they would do some stuff in the barber. So this is nothing new, okay? It's been done a million times, but apparently LeBron has really taken umbrage with the platform in which Nick Saban and company have done
but
this.
Nick, you're going to play Nick first
Yes.
here? Yeah, Nick is Nick, shockingly, isn't backing away.
Here we go. This is Nick Saban in responding to LeBron saying, hey, you guys better back off or you're in legal jeopardy.
There's been at least 20 barbershop-type things I've seen on TV. I didn't know anybody owned that. I didn't even know he had one. I'm sorry that anybody could be offended by something that we were just having fun with, and I enjoyed it, and we're going to continue to do it.
So the last line there, we're going to continue to do it.
And by the way, the best line there is, I'm sorry if anyone's offended, which is the world we live in now.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's offended about everything.
But the line to hang on is we're going to continue to do it, LeBron. You're up.
Exactly. So it was basically, fine, you're upset, sorry, we're going to do our thing. And here was LeBron's response.
From a media perspective, you guys know Nick Saban more than I do, so that's exactly what I would think he would say. But I built Uninterrupted for a reason, for us athletes to have a platform to be able to speak about whatever we want to talk about. And I respect him as a coach, but I'd be damned if I allow someone to use our platform or try to do the same thing we're doing and just think it's okay. So the lawyers will figure it out.
No. That's not what we want. We want the debate scene from old school.
That's exactly
where Will Ferrell blacks out.
We want the People's Court.
We do. We want Nick Saban and LeBron to represent themselves in this.
An academic decathlon.
Well, yeah, okay, that too.
No, we just want them in court yelling.
See, so here's the thing. I'll sit here and understand both sides. Nick Saban said, wait a minute, a lot of people do it. We're going to keep doing it. And LeBron saying, listen, I've protected the shop. We feel it's too close, and I'm trying to protect it. I don't blame either side for their comments, and we can sit here and give our opinions. Like I said, I said yesterday, Mike, with Jake and his cooler, we have a few patents, so we've learned a little bit about patent law and infringement and things like that, but certainly not enough to know this. So I can give my opinion and say, boy, it doesn't seem like they're close enough to have this kind of argument of you're infringing on my copyright. But at the end of the day, man, we're going to need a lawyer to help us out here.
Well, apparently, according to LeBron, here's the thing that I don't understand. Why is this so offensive to LeBron? Because to Nick's point, I mean, first of all, LeBron went a different way with this. We gave the athletes this platform to talk about whatever they want. No one's stopping them from having that platform.
Your platform hasn't been taken away.
It hasn't been taken away from you in any way, shape, or form. You can do with your platform whatever you want. He's just saying we're going to do something like it. And that it doesn't look. We'll get a lawyer to figure it out.
We need a lawyer,
but
I just don't
understand why this is so patently offensive to LeBron.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the place that it's coming from, an administration. It's coming from a coach who's involved in this. Because you've been in locker rooms before, and you always had a code word when the coach was coming through the locker room because you wanted to give guys a heads up because there's some things you don't want to talk about in front of the coach. I wonder if there's any idea that
was it mashed potatoes?
It was not mashed, although that would have been a great one. Now. Yeah. Go back at some of those, but I don't know. It just seems like maybe there's something to that. The idea they wanted it freestanding, like the Players Tribune, like everything else now, and the idea that it's been taken over by some authority.
I honestly, while I don't think it's that alike, but again, I'm not a lawyer.
Lawyer will figure it out.
I don't have a problem with LeBron trying. If he thinks it's infringing on what he's copyrighted, that he wants to protect it. I don't have a problem with that. But I just love these two guys facing off.
We want them to face off in the People's Court. That's what.
How great would it be hearing the announcer saying they both walk through the door?
I would pay money to watch this. I'd pay a lot of your money. A lot of your money.
Whoa.
Coming up, we'll tell you why the Patriots traded Brandin Cooks and what it means from them. Plus, the rare platinum sombrero on a home debut. Not what one player was looking for.
Did you say my money?
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I feel like a whole new person.
Disclaimer, you will not become a whole new person. This is impossible. You might be able to join a gym or diet program, buy a new wardrobe, get hair implants, but your DNA and physical form will remain the same. Geico waives any and all liability if you attempt to become a new person, except a cyborg. If you choose to become a half-human, half-cybernetic organism with lasers for eyes, the Geico legal team would be cool with that, because, quote, laser eyes are pretty sweet. Pew, 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 end quote.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Every deck is made for standing on, but there's only one that's always had a way of standing out. So if you're looking to bring more style, comfort, and creativity to your life outdoors, call on the brand that's known for making the most in outdoor living. From decking, railing, and lighting to furniture, fencing, and framing, at Trex, we're engineering what's next in outdoor living. To learn more about all of the outdoor solutions Trex has to offer, call 1-800-289-TREX or visit Trex.com. That's TREX.com.
Back with you on a Wednesday morning, Golic and Wingo, ESPN Radio and ESPN News, presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests will join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance line. By the way, you know this. This is Barty or Cardi by Cardi B, and songs like that are featured on our Amazon Music playlist, the simplest way to listen to the music you love. New customers start your 30-day free trial at AmazonMusic.com. It renews automatically, and you can cancel anytime. But again, why would you? Why would you cancel?
There you go.
We got some great guests coming up later on today. The Masters Par 3 starts today, and we're getting into what could be one of the most interesting Masters of all time. Jack Nicklaus, 18-time major winner, 6-time winner of the Green Jacket, will join us.
And he has a great story that I heard about said Green Jacket when he actually got his very own Green Jacket. It's pretty cool.
And there are things you can and cannot do with that Green Jacket, and we'll get into that with him. Adam Schefter, an NFL insider, will join us in a little bit to talk about what the heck is going on and what are the ramifications for the New England Patriots now that they've made the big trade, picking up another number one and shipping out Brandin Cooks. In the 9 o'clock hour, Connor Williams, who may be the first offensive tackle taken in the draft from the University of Texas, will join us. And if you haven't heard his story, you need to hear his story. And for anyone that feels slighted or felt picked on, sometimes revenge can be sweet, and the motivation can come in the most unbelievable ways. You'll want to hear his story.
Good story, and we'll talk about it. We have Todd McShay and Mel Kiper's mock drafts out. We'll talk about those in about an hour.
Can't do it until then.
Can't do it until then, so we can tell you where Connor went, where they think these the quarterbacks have shifted around too as well.
I can for the right price.
No, you can't actually. And then at 9:30, we'll have a Marty party with Barty or Cardi. I guess it all comes together. Marty Smith will join us. Marty Smith's America podcast, and of course he's had the chance to sit down with both Tiger and Rory before the Masters. So that will be a lot of fun. We got all of that, but let's start with what's trending. And hopefully for the Yankees and Giancarlo Stanton, this will not be trending. His home debut went about as bad as you could possibly go.
Wow.
Again, in his Yankees debut in Toronto, he was great. He had 2 home runs, drove in a bunch of runs. And then he put on the platinum sombrero in the rain and cold at Yankee Stadium. 0 for 5. 5 strikeouts, and the boos rained down like the moisture from the heavens.
The platinum sombrero. Wow. After he struck out, that last time I think it was the 8th inning, and walking back getting booed.
Welcome to New York.
That's exactly right. And as even he said, he kind of deserved to get booed the way he played.
He did. Thankfully, there were other players. Didi Gregorius hit 2 3-run homers in the 11-4 win, but Giancarlo Stanton knows there will be better days, and he's happy he has his teammates around him.
I was awful today, but, Didi picked me up and the rest of the guys, so, that's what you need on a not-so-good night for an individual. Not ideal for me, but good things not all about me, and you put up a performance like that, you should get some boos. So, like I said, not ideal, but, we got another one, plenty more.
We want to see the home runs, but at this point he's got 9 strikeouts. Aaron Judge has 7 strikeouts, so we saw that a little bit. It was a long ball or the strikeout for a lot of people, and you wonder if it's just going to continue for these two. You look forward to that shot, but unfortunately, walking back to the dugout after striking out's there as well.
If you're going to do it on the rainy day when your team's winning and no one's really there to watch anyway. There will be plenty more pressure-packed days for him in New York that will net a lot more scrutiny than this. So I hope he can brush this one off because worse is coming.
He will. But here's the biggest takeaway from this game. Man, Giancarlo Stanton, our big slugger, was awful. 0 for 5 strikeouts. They won 11-4. Yeah. Okay, there is plenty of firepower in that Yankee lineup, and 2 3-run homers from Didi, and you still have Judge and Sanchez. They're loaded, man. They are loaded,
and owning the 7th highest payroll.
Exactly.
As well. How about
That's
that?
because
they're doing it on the cheap,
just like the Rams with Jared Goff. They got Aaron Judge and Didi on those low end contracts right now. That will not be the case in a couple of years. But again, the takeaway is Giancarlo Stanton can still be awful, and the Yankees can bludgeon any pitching staff to death. We continue. Speaking of bludgeoning, we won't see it. A little disappointed. Not surprised with the results that came out recently, but the Canelo Alvarez Triple G matchup is off. Rematch.
Yeah. Again, Alvarez failed his A sample and B sample, both for the PED, and said again he got it, and he was training in Mexico, said he got it eating the meat in Mexico. He says he's clean. He's never cheated. He has another hearing about this April 18th and didn't feel he'd be able to train at the way he needed to, even if he were allowed to go into this fight. So this fight is off. This is the one we've all been looking forward to, the rematch. That's why we're so hype on LeBron and Nick Saban, because we don't have this fight anymore. But it'll eventually come back. Triple G still has to fight under contract, so there'll still be a fight that day. It just won't be with Alvarez, and we'll just have to wait till they get a new date.
Yeah, a bit of a stub toe for boxing here, because that was a fight last time that certainly drew a lot of controversy, but a lot of eyes. It was an entertaining fight. Everyone was looking forward to the next round of it. We thought we were going to buy the Mexican meat excuse here because we had seen it pop up in other sports. We talked about it in the NFL.
Yeah.
No go. That's a tough blow for boxing.
He says, this is from Alvarez, I have always been a clean fighter. I always will be a clean fighter. I want to prove without a doubt that I have never intentionally ingested clenbuterol. That was what was in his system.
And that is something that is put into cattle. It is.
It happened in the NFL to a lineman, and he was
Dwayne
cleared.
Brown.
He was cleared of any wrongdoing. So,
but the bottom line is the fight we wanted to see is off for now. It'll happen again. Mm-hmm. It's just off for now. And then this next one, you can look at it a lot of different ways. The Cavs, for the second straight time, found a way to beat the Raptors, 112-106. Cavs have a 9-1 record over the past 10 games, including 2 straight against the Eastern Conference leading Raptors. And LeBron said after the game, it's just what I've been telling you guys for a while. We don't know. We don't know what we can become. We have no idea, but right now we're playing good ball. So I think this game means a lot more for the Cavs, but I'm curious to think ahead what it really means for Toronto.
Oh, that's where I am on this. I'm completely on the mental side of this, forgetting the play at all in the court, because the Raptors can maybe sat there and puffed their chests out when they beat the Cavs in January by 33, and then the half of the team disappeared, and then they haven't beaten them since. So, and we know the faltering that's gone on in the playoffs, and as we talked about before, Mike, we have both seen this. We have both seen the mental aspect when something's in your head and you can't jump that hurdle and you're just waiting for the shoe to drop on what's going to go wrong this time. So Toronto's got a lot to overcome in that category.
Conversely, for the Cavs, like LeBron said, we're not even sure what we can fully become yet. And how's this? I saw Wendy tweet this last night. Brian Windhorst said, the Cavs are 23-9 with Jose Calderon as their starting point guard. It's a ridiculous summation of the ridiculous regular season. And it drives home the fact that there's been so much shuffling in this lineup. I think it's highlighted above everything else. And it shouldn't need any more highlighting, but it does. The remarkable consistency of LeBron James that's going to absolve him from any wrongdoing this summer when it's time to make that decision.
That's what makes this so interesting, is that we've seen this Cavs team just sort of morph all season long. I mean, all season long. And to LeBron's point, I don't think anybody even knows what the Cavs are going to be. But it is interesting, too, because not only do you have this with the Raptors in the East, on the same way you sort of have this with Golden State and Houston in the West.
Oh,
I mean,
the Rockets, after what they did last year, the Rockets, losing in 6 to San Antonio, and Harden's disappearing act in Game 6 of the hump they need to get over there. But Golden State, again, losing last night, with the injuries that they're dealing with. That's the real question for them, is how healthy are they going to be when they really need it in the playoffs.
So, again, we'll see what happens down the stretch of the regular season and whether or not the mental hurdle will be there for the Raptors against the Cavs and the Rockets against Golden State, the team they've admitted we're obsessed with. Daryl Morey has said that, the Rockets GM, we are obsessed with trying to find ways to beat the Warriors. And that was off the top. And then, of course, there is the story which has dominated the headlines ever since Adam Schefter broke it yesterday, that the Patriots said goodbye to Brandin Cooks and traded him away to the Rams for a first-round pick. So that gives the Patriots now 2 1s, 2 2s, and a 3 heading into this draft. And there's a couple of things we need to get into. In the last hour, we sort of did a deep dive into what this meant for the Rams.
Right.
But what this means for the Patriots is infinitely more interesting because of the possibilities. First and foremost, people are saying how unusual it is for the Patriots to do something like this. I would argue the exact opposite is true. This is exactly what the Patriots do. Schefter just tweeted, by the way, this morning, they tried to work out some sort of contract extension with Brandin Cooks in the offseason. It wasn't going anywhere. So that's when they decided, okay, fine. If you're not going to play for our price, we're not going to pay you to play for your price. Mm-hmm. So that's not going to happen. That's exactly what New England does. They do this all the time. They have a benchmark for every player, no matter how good they are and how valuable they think they are to their team. And if you're not willing to play at their price, you're gone. And the beauty of this for New England, what did they give up to get Brandin Cooks? A first-round pick.
Oh, right.
And what did they get back?
A first-round pick. Yeah.
So basically, we got a guy for a year. We got to a Super Bowl. Thanks very much. And the cost we made to get you, we're going to get that back.
Yeah, he had over 1,000 yards receiving.
It is the most New England thing of all time.
Yeah, it is. And now they pick up, what do they have, 5 picks in the first 3 rounds, 4 in the first 2?
4 in the first 63 picks.
They're one of 3 teams now that have 2 picks in the first round. The Browns 1 and 4, the Bills 12 and 22, and the Patriots now 23 and 31 for a team that they don't rely on their rookies to come in and be rookies of the year. They rely on proven talent and using picks to get said proven talent from other teams and say, we're going to win right now. And you are at the most, we need to continue winning right now because and I heard you say it this morning, Tom Brady can say all he wants. He can just play till 50. I got 2 more years tops on on the level or close to the level that he's at now. So they are still in a win now mentality. So while some of these picks may go to players because you have to keep cycling new ones through, the others can be great ammunition to get other veteran players that they need to help them like they've done years in the past.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them at times dump, especially once you get to the later rounds, because to your point, they don't think those guys are going to make the team. They're pretty sure that they can just go and bank that on something coming in later years in these rounds. But now it comes at an interesting crux because we know for the Patriots, that Tom Brady window, whenever it's closing, the interesting relationship surrounding Belichick and Brady in this organization. Is there a quarterback at the end of the first round in one of those spots or in the second round just outside of this group of core guys that they can look at and say in that Jimmy Garoppolo mold, you can bring in, you can hold on for a few years, you get him in the first round if you did a cost-controlled 5th-year option if you really want to max out this Tom Brady lifespan, and then you've actually got a succession plan that you can build into your Patriot way because we know that's something they value.
Golic and Wingo here with you on ESPN Radio and ESPN News, talking about the big trade yesterday, Brandin Cooks going to the Rams and what the Patriots do now with their ammunition. And it's so interesting, guys. Not only do they get a first-round pick, they get a 6th-round pick.
Right.
You know what pick number that is in the 6th round?
Tell me it's 199.
Oh, 199?
198.
Oh, there you go.
198.
Yeah.
And, of course, Tom Brady was the 199th pick in the 6th round when he was picked up by the Patriots. And we're now talking about they get the 6th round pick at 198 back in a year where they're looking at potentially the next guy to replace Tom Brady because they had Jimmy Garoppolo. And then, of course, for a mere pittance of a 2nd round pick, He was traded away to San Francisco in a thing where he wasn't really shopped. It was one call. You want him? Come get him. They took him. San Francisco did. So now the question becomes, the Patriots, with their ammunition, do they go after a quarterback? Do they use those picks to move up to get one? Or are they not sleeping on a quarterback that I think a lot of people are sleeping on?
Yeah.
And that would be Oklahoma State's
Mason
Rudolph,
right,
who could be available at the back end of that first round with one of those picks.
Well, they certainly have the picks to do it if they want to grab one of those guys, while still if they want to use those other picks as either trade or getting a player to use for this year on the field. Because if you draft a quarterback, he's not going to be playing, barring injury. So, and I'm sure Tom Brady would be like, forget all that. They got rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's win right now. But you have to be smart about this, even though we went through the whole thing last year of, did Bill really want to get rid of Garoppolo, or how that whole thing, the whole underbelly of how we thought maybe it was working last year, to where eventually they do have to do that. They have to find somebody that they believe in that could take over for Tom in a couple of years. And to your point, if you get him in the end of the first round, that's that key fifth-year option that you now can control, so you have that extra year of it. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit. Do I think when push comes to shove, they'll probably go for a secondary player, a cornerback or a safety or something like that? But would it surprise me to knowing you get that extra year, that fifth-year option in the first round? No, it wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah, and listen, we know the controversy surrounding Malcolm Butler, but that was a guy who, before all of the Super Bowl hoopla, played the vast majority of the snaps for you on defense. So that's a hole that you've got to fill.
Well, they did get Jason McCarty from the Browns. They traded for. Right?
They got the McCarty brothers. They got the McCarty twins.
They did.
The first time.
I think more importantly than anything, you're dealing with a different defensive coordinator now than Matt Patricia, who's been making chicken salad out of chicken you-know-what for a while now on that defense that's sort of been amorphous. But as far as true needs, I think you can afford to take a look at quarterback near the end of that first round, because you're still a team that was in the Super Bowl last year and had every chance to win it. It's not like you are desperate for one piece that's the difference between you and there. You get Edelman back this season. You've still got Gronk at this point. There's a lot to look forward to.
See, this is the real curious thing about this. What do you do with this giant booty of picks now? Because the one thing we can say for sure with the New England Patriots, as amorphous as they've been, way to just throw that one in there, Junior.
Casual.
I was very impressed. I was very impressed. Is whatever they have now will not be the picks they use over the 3 days of the draft.
They're the kings of moving back, aren't they?
They're the kings of moving.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Did you see the tweet from Shefty yesterday that in 2017 they traded every one of their original draft picks?
Exactly.
Away?
So whatever they have now is not going to be what they pick.
Yeah, don't try and crystal ball them.
Let's just be clear about that. So the question then becomes, what's the best use of this ammunition, this bounty that you have, okay? Is it to find players right away in your window with Tom Brady, which I agree with you, I can't see it more than 2 more years.
Right.
It's not possible for me to think about a 44-year-old quarterback playing at a very high level. God bless him if he does, but I just don't see that's possible. So do you say to yourself now as an organization, we have a chance to begin the reboot, and let's sort of get as many players and picks as possible for what will be coming next after the Tom Brady era, when it ends, is over? Or are we, damn it, we were this close to winning number 6. Let's go all in with these picks to try and squeeze out one more while we've got everybody here.
Well, I think to Mike's point, and I agree, I mean, they were a Super Bowl team last year. While they lost some players, they filled those spots to a point. So I don't know if they have to do a lot of building with rookies and draft picks so you can use those as ammunition. And the whole key about the quarterback is
what would you do?
I would probably live for the now. I think I would live for the now.
I think Bill wants to live for the future.
Well, I mean, that's the tough part is trying to decipher motivation here, though, because we've, for the first time, had a weird layer of the Patriots peel back that we never see that's called into question who's really calling the shots. These moves seem Belichickian. This is Bill back in the driver's seat, getting rid of Brandin Cooks at the time they did. So you wonder now going forward for him, if Bill's really here for the long haul still, because there was questions for a while about his future in New England and how much longer he wanted to do this. If he's here for the long haul, it would probably behoove you to go out and start making moves that reflect that.
So then can we take the easy answer and say because of all the ammunition, they can do both? That they can take young players that could help them, now and more in the future and still have the ammunition.
Wait, you're the one that always tells me there's no ambiguity. It's black or white. It's love it or shove it. You can't be dropping that card.
Not with New England, it isn't.
You can't be doing that.
Not with New England, it isn't. We just heard they recycle their picks, man. I'll tell you what, there are 2 things that happened that, and I thought this anyway. But I think they're solidified. I don't think really the trade had a lot to do with it, but I never saw it going another way. That Odell Beckham is going to be a Giant, and Gronk is absolutely positively playing this year.
Well,
but I
think
Gronk
this
was playing.
absolutely puts a dent in the trade market for Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. The question for the Giants becomes, what do we still want to do with Odell Beckham Jr.? But you're right. The Rams being out of it, it does hinder their ability to move him to a place where everybody would be happy with it. There's no question about that. But the Patriots, I find this whole thing fascinating. To your point, Junior, it's always been blinders. This way, everybody else out of the way, Bill's going to do what Bill wants to do. Clearly, some of that was not the case this past year. So what are we talking about?
What do you think they'll do then?
I have no idea, and that's what makes it so great. I mean, listen, I love the draft anyway for a million different reasons, but the fact that you have New England sitting there, we can move up, we can jump ahead of some of these guys that think they're going to take a quarterback and steal their thunder and get the guy we want, or we can maybe get the guy that we think might be the best out of all of them in Mason Rudolph, who, by the way, is only available in this draft class because they took away his redshirt year with 2 games left.
Right.
They were 5-5 that year. They got a bunch of quarterbacks hurt, and Mike Gundy decided to roll the dice and put in Mason Rudolph there. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in this draft class. He'd be in a completely different draft class, which means we might have 6 quarterbacks go in the first round, which would be bonkers.
Would be crazy.
It would be absolutely bonkers. So just the permutations here are absolutely ridiculous. And the one thing about Brandin Cooks being gone, if you're in New England, don't worry about it. Because he was gone in the first quarter or the second quarter, second quarter of the Super Bowl last year when he got the hit.
Oh, right.
And guess what happened? Tom Brady threw for 500 yards in the Super Bowl. The year before, they didn't have Gronk. Tom Brady threw for 8 million yards in the comeback win. And oh, by the way, they didn't have Julian Edelman either.
It's always like, you think you're valuable? Well, look what we did when you weren't there.
Yeah, it is amazing where the Patriots stack value through all this, because you look back at who they've been willing to pay, and the last 2 big paydays that I can really remember both went to tight ends on that team.
Correct.
It was Aaron Hernandez and it was Rob Gronkowski.
Well, they paid Gilmore last year, didn't they?
Yeah,
they paid him pretty well.
It was decent, but it wasn't break the bank money for a cornerback.
And especially on offense, it's just interesting as we watch the copycat league. You've seen the value of tight ends skyrocket everywhere as the Patriots got to market early.
They did, and look, they'll find ways to move the ball. Let's be clear. We've lost our home run hitter. You didn't have him in the Super Bowl, and you still threw for 500 yards. Okay, that they'll figure it out. And what I love about the Patriots, they're making it work with receivers nobody else wanted, like Chris Hogan and Julian Edelman and Danny Amendola. When
Chris Hogan played lacrosse.
He was. Don't lax me, bro. So we'll see what happens. To me, the most important thing that happened to the Patriots this offseason, they lost 2 of their starting tackles.
Yeah, they
Nate
did.
Solder and Fleming. Now Cannon is still there,
and they brought Tobin in from the Seahawks.
But if I'm Brady, I'm more concerned about that more than anything else.
Love scoring amazing hotel deals? Then you've got to get the Hotel Tonight app. Forget scrolling through never-ending lists of hotels. Hotel Tonight shows you a select list of incredible deals at hotels you actually want to stay at. And even though the name's Hotel Tonight, you can book up to 100 days in advance in top destinations and up to a week in advance everywhere else. Want to get those deals? Yeah, you do. Download the Hotel Tonight app now.
Hey everyone, Mike Golic here. Support for the Golic Wingo podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage. By Quicken Loans, chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Mikes. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Golic and Wingo with you on ESPN Radio and ESPN News, presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. We played this yesterday, and it's going to stick with me forever. I'm going to make it my ringtone. Stephen A. went absolutely bonkers when some of the quotes came out from Jim Mora about Josh Rosen and whether or not people should be concerned. And he wanted no part of it for the Jets or the Giants if they take Josh Rosen at 3 overall, that he may have to be worried about him thinking about something besides football. And the end of it was something like this.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
Can I just say that at some point in my life, I would like to care about something as much as Stephen A. Smith cares about everything.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. It's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. Again, this was at the end of a whatever you want diatribe, rant, whatever, and this was the crescendo sticking the landing.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. There was a point in my life where I would have said something like that, and I think I'll set it up so you'll hit it at the right time. 2013.
Yeah.
January.
Yeah.
Sitting down in Miami.
Yeah.
In a stadium.
Yeah.
Watching a football game.
Yeah.
Watching Alabama.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Play for the national championship.
Yeah.
Not one, not two, but 3 minutes into the game. Someone looked at me and said, "Hey, Mike, do you believe what's going on?" Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
And just like that, it was a long 4 hours. Yeah. It was a really long 4 hours.
And I was contractually obligated to stay with 2 kids on the team.
There you go. Thanks, kids. Love you. But again, his energy is, again, I'll say it again. I would like to, at some point in my life, care about something.
Yeah.
As much as Stephen A. Smith cares about everything. Yeah. It's a remarkable thing.
Really is.
You know what else is remarkable? One man's quest to change his role in life from behind-the-scenes researcher to in front of the camera and microphone personality. And we're doing it again. Oh, it's sponsored. My God.
No.
Bretmology is now brought to you by Discover Card, who will match all the cash back new card members earn at the end of their first years. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply, so let's play Bretmology.
It's the game show segment that's captivating a nation.
The origin is Latin, and it has been sort of corrupted over time.
Like this show.
Making everyone that hears it smarter.
In the 1800s, English authors were likely to partake in opium den activities.
Now, with your host, researcher Brett.
Take a guess where that came from. Brett's got your answer.
It's Bretmology.
Here are the categories. Words and their meanings. That's straightforward.
We are all about making you smarter before you go to work to try and win yourself some money or some type of bet at the water cooler.
And we're all about making ourselves look stupid in the process. So we're okay with that.
When this happened last time, Brett, who got every single one of them?
Mike Golic.
Thank you very much.
You were 4 for 4. I was 3 for 4.
Yep.
Either one would. Bubba has got all. He's keeping all the stats. Okay.
All right.
Either one of us would get us into the Hall of Fame. 4 for 4, 3 for 4. Batting 1,000, batting 750.
Mine was still way better than yours.
Let's see what happens this time around. All right, Brett, you ready to play Bretmology?
Yeah, let's give it a run.
Here we go.
So we got 4 phrases today.
Okay.
Number 1, dressed to the nines.
Okay.
Dressed to the nines.
Fancy.
Yeah,
sure. Sure.
Okay. Possible origin number 1. In Old English, to the eyes was stated as to thine eynes, which eventually came to be to the nines over time, to signify that things were pleasing to look at.
Pleasing to look at.
Okay.
All right, I like that.
Or number 2, reference to the 9 muses of classical mythology, with to the nines being associated with a mythologically high standard.
Okay, I can just say right away, these are much tougher than last week.
Yeah, they are.
Week. Much tougher.
I'm going with number 1.
You're going with number 1?
I'm going with number 1. And I quite honestly, I have to go number 1, but I can wait 10 minutes.
There's a cup right in front of you.
That's all right.
I will also go with the first one, Old English.
Oh, no!
We're all out. We're all out.
Mike's in the back behind the glass now.
Who cares?
He went. No
one cares.
I saw him hold up 2
Get
fingers.
Out. Get out.
He did.
So it was mythology. Wow.
Classical mythology.
All right, so we're both 0 for 1.
Wow.
Welcome to the club.
How about it? Ben, I feel like a loser.
You're a jerk. All right, here we go.
Me?
Yeah.
All right, your second phrase.
Here we go, yeah.
Catch lightning in a bottle.
Okay. Clearly from the movie Sweet Home Alabama, right? With Reese Witherspoon?
This is,
that's
it.
And fake Matthew McConaughey?
This was over.
Boom.
It is to do something very difficult.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it an allusion to Benjamin Franklin's famous experiment with the kite and the key, where he was allegedly discovered electricity?
Yes. Yes.
And he had to catch the lightning in a jar so that he could,
we
do
got
his
it.
test.
Okay.
We understood where you were going.
Or the 1941 Brooklyn Dodgers, managed by Leo DeRocher, who had a ton of phrases in his life, and he needed them to catch lightning in a bottle. He also said that nice guys finish last.
Yeah.
They won 100 games, won the first pennant in 20 years. lost in the World Series that year.
See, this one seems like a trap to me. It would seem like you would go with Benjamin Franklin because of the electricity thing.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I'm going to go the other way and go with the baseball reference.
Wow.
Yeah.
You cross-faded me there.
I did.
No. I think he wants us to overthink it. I'm going Benjamin Franklin.
Okay.
Benjamin Franklin is the answer.
Boom! Boom, baby! There you go. There you go.
Okay.
See, what your problem is? You did something you shouldn't do. Think.
I overthought.
You overthought it. Bubble Boy, we're pushed now for the year, right?
I overthanked it.
We're both 4 for 6. You overthunk it? Yeah. All right, here we go. What's the next one?
The third phrase. 3 sheets to the wind.
Hey.
Means this
now
show
we're speaking my language.
Means this show every day.
First segment for sure.
And we are taking it to the ocean.
Yeah.
Is it a nautical term to describe when a ship is in extremely rough weather and the sails have to be positioned against the wind to keep it from toppling over? And when 3 sails are against the wind, that is as much as they can do to keep it from crashing.
Gotcha.
Or
that would have sense, toppling over, drunk, falling down. I get it.
Okay.
Or is it when, also in the ocean, on a ship, when the sheets are actually the ropes that fasten the sail, and if 3 of them are not fastened properly and they're in the wind, then the sail is essentially useless and the ship will lurch around like a drunk person.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a tough one.
I'm going with number 1.
I feel strongly about number 1 as well. I'm going with number 1.
We all like
Number 1.
We're going 1.
Everyone's going 1.
No! It was number 2?
It was.
Wow. All right, so we're both 4 for 6. God.
I've gotten all 3 wrong.
Yeah, congratulations.
Okay.
You're closing in on your golden sombrero.
Holy smoke. Glad there's not 5 questions, or it would be the platinum sombrero.
All right, your final phrase.
Here we go.
Take with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
It means to view something with skepticism.
Right.
Like Golic's perfect record the first week.
You're not kidding.
Okay. We're going to go back to Rome for both of these.
Love it.
Was it the Roman author Pliny the Elder?
By the way, anything that involves Pliny the Elder, I'm all for. I just want to be clear about that.
Yeah, the beer
Pliny
is great
the
as
Elder.
well. He didn't invent it, but it's a good one.
Pliny the Elder. Isn't that what Wade Boggs' character had to say in the Simpsons episode? He had to quote Pliny the Elder. I believe that's correct. We'll look that one up, Brett.
I'll look that one up after the segment.
Yeah.
Pliny the Elder. Salt was thought to be an antidote for poison. So to be safe, if you didn't know what you were eating or drinking, you should take it with salt.
All right.
Or is it the Roman general Pompey, who believed he could make himself immune to poison by consuming small amounts of it at a time, which is maybe not horrible science. And to make it go down easier, he would consume it with salt.
Okay, see, now this is what I find really interesting.
Yeah, because a lot of the vaccines is actually what...
But it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
He's basically given us 2 versions of the same thing here. Take poison or take salt for help with poison, or take salt to help with poison.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a question of which one was it. Was it Pliny the Elder, or was it a Roman general?
Thank you for that explanation.
Basically, it's the same thing.
Do you think you're getting credit for this question just by giving us that information?
That makes it more frustrating.
Okay,
because
I'll let you answer first.
No, that's not the way this goes.
Number 2. Number 2.
I'm all in on Pliny the Elder. I'm going Pliny the Elder.
Two. Pliny the Elder is correct.
Hey! Bang! There it is.
Golden sombrero for Golic.
0 for 4. Wear that collar with pride, my friend.
Wow, I got smoked.
Who's the smart guy now?
Not me.
2 for 4. 2 for 4, 0 for 4.
This kind of tells you where this show goes when 50% is the smart one of this show.
Again, Hall of Fame. That's all I'm saying, Hall of Fame.
Wow.
You go 500, you're getting in the Hall of Fame. That's the way it works.
I feel horrible.
And you should. We also need to we need to find out. I believe it was Wade Boggs that screamed out, "I am Pliny the Elder" in the Simpsons baseball
Could
episode.
I care less about that than anything else?
You could.
I just went 0 for 4 and something. I care what Wade Boggs says as a Simpson character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, by the way, you messed that up too.
What?
You could care less. The phrase
I never say that.
The phrase is, I could not care less.
You know what I guarantee?
And he's the smart one.
Do you know what I guarantee you is going to happen when we go to break? Yeah. I'm going to punch you in the face.
Oh, hey, listen, use your words, not your fists. Mike.
Okay, no, I'm using my fist.
Use your feelings. Ease your feelings. Say what you want. 5 for 8, 0 for 4.
You know what I can
Coming
do?
up, a
I could use them
clarification that
both.
made things more confusing, and Mike will speak, which will probably things even more confusing. Winning at sports and at sports broadcasting means changing things up.
Just like La Quinta Inns and Suites is changing up their look.
A renovated lobby that's so contemporary it even makes Golic look cool.
Yes, it does. And a totally updated fitness center that even has Wingo feeling like a workout.
I'm ripped. Plus plenty of comfortable spaces to hang out.
Yep, this La Quinta look definitely has a vibe of victory.
So you can just relax, refresh, and get ready for your next big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com. Golic and Wingo with you, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Okay, my big win in Bretmology included knowing it was all about Pliny the Elder. Rule number 1, whenever Pliny the Elder is mentioned, you must go with Pliny the Elder. And I asked Brett to look into the research. I believe Wade Boggs in the infamous Simpsons episode where they had all those baseball players and Darryl Strawberry and a bunch of them, Roger Clemens, I believe his line had to be, I'm screamed out Pliny the Elder, right?
Close. But there's an important distinction.
Okay.
This is the episode
Which is
Homer
not
at
bad
the bat.
science, yeah, according to you.
Pitt the Elder.
Oh,
they were talking
Pitt.
about British prime ministers, and you're separated by about 1,685 years.
But it was the Elder. It was the Elder.
It was the Elder.
So no.
Yeah.
It's not close.
Correct.
It's completely wrong.
Fair.
Okay.
Golic the Elder is correct.
Okay.
What?
Golic the Elder is correct.
The Elder Golic is
The
correct?
Elder Golic.
The Elder Golic of the two Golics that are part of this show is correct. Okay, I knew there was an Elder in there. That's all. But that's why it stuck with me. You know who should probably try to stop clarifying is Jim Mora.
Yeah.
The former UCLA head coach. Again, he said in an interview that he did on NFL Network, or a segment he did for NFL Network, if he had to pick between the two quarterbacks to go number 1 to Cleveland, he wouldn't take his guy, Josh Rosen.
Right.
He would have Cleveland take Sam Darnold because of the fit.
He's gritty.
He doesn't care about some of the things that Josh may care about. He loved New York, blah, blah, blah. People thought that was sort of a backhanded compliment.
Then
we were like, I can see that one. And then he went, well, if you get Josh just focused in on football and not other things, he'll be great.
He's a millennial. He needs to be told why.
He needs to be told
everything.
why.
Yeah,
and Josh tweeted out why. So that sounded like, wow, there seemed to be some more issues. So the clarification didn't go really well.
Oh, boy.
So here is the second attempt on Jim Moore trying to clarify his thoughts on his former quarterback, Josh Rosen.
Do I think he's the best quarterback in the draft? No. I think he's the best player in the draft. How about that? Does that mean I think he's a fit for every team? No. You know, I think that being schooled by a Pat Shurmur, great fit for a guy that's as smart as Josh Rosen. To be in a room with Jeremy Bates, great fit for a guy like Josh Rosen. I think he'll excel.
So did that make you feel any better?
No,
or clarify your
listen,
feelings about where Jim Moore stands on his former quarterback?
At this point, he's just in backpedal mode on what do I say now. I'm getting ripped for anything I say. I just be like, that's the last thing I'm saying about my guy. We'll see what happens at the draft.
And again, I want to be clear. I don't care how you feel about him.
No.
Yeah.
I'm with you. To me, again, I just think there's some hard feelings with maybe the way all went on with the coaches and the offensive side and game plans and things like that. I don't think there's a lot of love lost going on there.
Right.
And I think Josh Rosen still, to me, is the top quarterback. I'm not saying he's up there, way top and everybody else is 10 feet below him, but he would be the guy I would take first. I think he'll excel. I think he's smart. I think that will help him digest playbooks in the NFL. I don't think he'll be bored with playbooks in the NFL like some thought he was in college. So I think he'll be just fine. And I don't mind my quarterback having a little bit of an ego, or being a little bit egotistical at times. Now, you're likely to be good teammates as well, and we'll find all that out because there are questions there as well. But nothing has changed for me on the surface that I've seen myself and watched or heard from people that has changed my mind that he would be the top quarterback regardless of team. Hugh Jackson has had a pretty good history of working with quarterbacks in the past as well. So being the Cleveland Browns head coach. So though he and Todd Haley together is kind of an interesting matchup, I will grant you that. But Josh Rosen would still be the guy I take.
Look, the way I look at it is anything that Jim Mora feels about his quarterback, he's entitled to feel.
Yes, he is.
I mean, Brian Kelly was pretty clear about what he thought about Deshaun Kaiser, and Pete Carroll said, no, Mark Sanchez should have come back for another year, and maybe history has proved Pete Carroll and Brian Kelly right about those quarterbacks. But it's just this weird dynamic where I feel like he's trying to say what he wants to say by not really saying it, and that's what's interesting here. And the idea that somehow being smart and inquisitive is a bad thing, I'm not buying it.
No, I'm not either.
I'm just not buying it in any way, shape, or form. I don't know if I've ever heard a head coach or a coordinator or position coach say, gosh, if only my quarterback would think less, we'd do well.
Yeah, or
I don't buy that at all.
He's got to be invested. He has other things he likes outside of ball. What do we think? 2 years he's going to get bored and walk away from football?
Right.
Name me the last time that's happened.
Russell Wilson was at baseball training camp.
Yeah.
He has other interests in his life. He seems to be doing just fine. I just don't buy the argument that anyone says, well, he's so smart, it might be a problem. No. Then why do we freak out? Oh, we got a 4 on the Wonderlic test.
Yeah.
Well, I wish Josh would have gotten a 3. I'd feel better about him being our quarterback.
Yeah.
That makes absolutely zero sense whatsoever.
I agree.
So we'll see if Jim continues to talk about this or he's done saying his piece. Coming up, the greatest major champion of all time, Jack Nicklaus, will join us on the eve of the Masters. We'll ask him about Sergio's championship dinner and what to make of what should be a great Masters in 2018.
Everyone in the neighborhood knew about Bobby. Bobby, the basketball boy, they called him. Bobby wanted to go pro someday, so he was always out in the driveway shooting hoops. But one day, his mom came out and told him,
"Hey, your wife wants you to take out the trash?"
His mom was visiting, and Bobby was a grown man. He had kind of missed his window. Plus, no one had ever seen him actually make a basket. But on the other hand, Bobby had heard how Geico could save him money on car insurance, so he switched and saved. So it was all good.